Welcome to Systems Alliance. My name is Jexy, and in this video, we're going to go ahead and ask the question to ourselves in the comment section, wherever: will Avengers Endgame make more or less than $300 million domestically opening weekend? If you're watching this, you're probably going to be checking out Avengers Endgame this weekend. And if you're hardcore, like many of us are, you're probably checking it out on opening day, which really used to be like midnight. They would have a midnight showing. And then I remember they moved back to like all the way to 10 p.m. showings and count it towards Friday. Well, now they're basically starting at 9 a.m. on Thursday. They're having showings starting then. And then, of course, all throughout the day Thursday. And then, of course, all throughout the weekend. And even the biggest chains like AMC throughout the weekend are staying open 24 hours a day just to show Avengers Endgame. So that is reason number one why I think Avengers Endgame will actually make more than $300 million. I'm guessing $310 million domestically opening weekend, because just go ahead, look online, check out the showtimes in your area. I personally have never seen so many showtimes for a single movie ever. And Infinity War already broke the record, but this is more. This is bigger than that. So when I take a look at it, I think it will break 300 million. It's easily going to break the record. Easily going to break the opening day record. That's not even a question. But 300 million is still a long shot. I mean, the closest movie to get there was Avengers Infinity War, and that was at 257.7 million. You're talking about adding on at least 43 million to that, and I'm saying it's going to add on at least 53 million to that. And the question becomes like, how? So one, we've established crazy amount of Thursday showings, which are going to count towards that. Then, the most showings ever. I mean, 24-hour theaters across the nation, they're going to be open to show you Avengers Endgame. That's kind of the other reason. I mean, this is all unprecedented territory that we're entering here. And let's go over a couple of the more reasons why I think it will break 300 million. So in its first 7 days of pre-release, according to Fandango, and keep in mind, as I mentioned, Fandango, as everything moves towards more digital, more pre-sales, stuff like that, Fandango's stats are always expected to increase over what they were. That being said, Infinity War was just a year ago. But still, 5 times as many tickets were sold for Avengers Endgame than for Infinity War. 5 times as much. Now, the movie's not going to make 5 times as much as Infinity War did on its opening weekend. Otherwise, it'd be making $1 billion domestically in its opening weekend. That's not going to happen. We're just saying, can it get to 300 million? And when I look at 5 times the number that a movie, Infinity War, opened up with 257 million, and they're selling 5 times more in Fandango, yeah, I'm going to say that should help it reach 300 million. In addition to the record number of showtimes, it's opening in a record number of theaters, 4,600 theaters. You go back in the day, 1,000 theaters was a lot. Then 2,000 was crazy. Then 3,000 was like the new blockbuster norm. And then things started getting up into the 4,000 range. But 4,600? By far the most I've ever seen. So that's another reason why I think it'll break 300. And in fact, that's one of the reasons why you could easily argue it won't break 300. Because even at 4,600 theaters and a whole bunch of showtimes and showtimes running 24/7, that may not be enough theaters to support a $300 million opening. Sure, the movie might break records overall in its entire run, but if we're just talking about the opening weekend, there is like a physical limitation on theaters, on showtimes that exists. We don't know what that is yet, but I think we'll find it out here with Avengers Endgame. In addition to being in a record number of theaters and showings, it's also sold out already of thousands of showings. Already sold out. The movie's not even out yet, so that's something right there. And it broke the previous record holder, Star Wars The Force Awakens, which was obviously a massive movie. It broke that movie's record for one-day ticket sales in 6 hours. So in just 6 hours, a quarter of the time, it broke Star Wars The Force Awakens record. So once again, is it going to make 4 times as much? No, but it'll probably break 300 million. Interestingly enough, Marvel's The Avengers back in 2012 was the first movie to open with over 200 million. So just think about that. How much movies have changed in terms of opening weekend, thanks basically to Marvel in how big they are. Just a few years ago, 2012 was the first $200 million opening, and now we're already at biggest $300 million opening, possibly? That's crazy. That's just 7 years later. To think about that, how long did it take from a $100 million opening, the first $100 million opening, to get to $200 million? That took forever. And now, just because this is the MCU, we're going from 200 to 300 just like that? To me, I couldn't have ever imagined that. One of the other reasons why I think it will also break 300 million, its Metacritic score is at 78 and its Rotten Tomatoes score is at 97. And word is, this is possibly the best MCU movie ever. Ever. Think about that. All the MCU movies, all of them, all 21 of them, or however many there are, over $20 billion once you adjust for inflation. All those movies, everyone has their favorites, whether it's The Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War. It could be Spider-Man, it could be Guardians, it could be Thor Ragnarok, whatever it is. This one, people are saying it's the best? That's crazy to think about. It's crazy to imagine. But if that is the case, repeat viewings, and especially if this is the last we get of our heroes, people are going to definitely want to see this multiple times. And that's also how you get to 300 million. So currently the record holder for largest opening for Thursday, which obviously this will be doing, is 57 million by Star Wars The Force Awakens. Can this beat that? Easily. I think you're going to blow that out of the water. Personally, I could easily see 80 plus million for Thursday viewings because I've never seen a movie have so many Thursday viewings in my life. So I think that record's done. Endgame's got that one. Again, single day record, Star Wars The Force Awakens, 119 million. I think that's gone. I think single day you might see close to, let's say 140 to 150 million for Endgame. That's what I think we'll be seeing for it. Infinity War currently holds the record for larger Saturday and Sunday gross with 82 and 69 million respectively. I think both of those are going to be gone too. Like I said, I think Friday you're going to see a crazy amount of people, crazy opening. That's going to be maybe upwards of 140 plus million. I think you're going to see over 100 million on Saturday as well. And Sunday, who knows, maybe it's 80 million or something. But whatever it is, I think we're going to get well past 300 million. I'm just going to say 310. Who knows how it's all going to shake out. But I think it's breaking every single one of those records. Internationally, that record currently is held by Fate of the Furious with 443 million for that opening. But worldwide opening, it's still Infinity War. And that had an opening of 640 million worldwide. But guess what it didn't have? China. So even without China, it still has the record, but Endgame is opening in China during its opening weekend. And because of that, I think you could see somewhere between 900 and who knows, maybe this might be the craziest record of all time, $1 billion in its opening weekend. I can definitely see that happening. Obviously, we're including the Thursday shows as a part of this, but why can't it happen? I mean, this is Avengers Endgame. This is the movie we've been waiting 20 plus Marvel movies for. Why not? So as I said, personally, I think it's going to be at least 310 million, but there are reasons why it can't hit 300 million. And I mentioned one of them, and that is the physical limitation of theaters. There's only so many of them. And I mean, Infinity War was obviously packed everywhere, and that was 257 million. This one has more theaters. This one has more showtimes. But is it enough? I'm not sure. Or at least I'm not 100% sure. There could be other reasons too. Maybe people start spoiling it. Don't do that, by the way. Thanos does demand your silence. But something could happen. Something could happen outside of the movie's control, or maybe that 97 turns into 87 on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know. All I know is that I can't see a way other than the physical limitation of theaters of this not reaching 300 million. But if you know something that I don't of why it may not reach that, let me know, because you could be right and I may not know that. Obviously, this movie's going to make over $2 billion. Can it make $3 billion though? I mean, once you factor in for inflation, there's not too many movies that have made $3 billion. The main ones, of course, are going to be Titanic and Avatar, both James Cameron films. That's why he can make all the avatars he wants now. He has all the money. But $3 billion? I mean, those were worldwide phenomenons. Like, everybody saw it. And they also weren't front loaded, either of them. They had very small openings. I mean, fractions of their actual gross, fractions of what almost any of these Marvel movies have done. So, with such a big opening, and once people start to, I guess, talk about it, so it's spoiled, I mean, it's going to be hard to miss it because everyone's going to have seen it, which means you want to see it right in the beginning too. But does that mean that people are going to start seeing it for months after at a super high rate? Will its drops be very small? Will you have single digit drops week over week? Probably not after the first weekend, of course, but after that, will it be able to hold up? Or will it play kind of like a normal movie? And who knows, even if you open with $1 billion, $3 billion is still generally out of the question, because to even reach that, you have to have legs. So let me know your thoughts on that. Can it reach $3 billion? Obviously, we expect it to set some records in general, but $3 billion? That's a little tough. So let me know your thoughts about $300 million. Do you think it's going to make it there? Do you think, I just don't see it. That's too crazy. It's such a big number. I can't even imagine. Do you think it'll hit $1 billion worldwide? I think that one might be more doable than $300 million here, but who knows? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Twitter, and we'll catch you next time.